The next thing that we're going to do is we're going to generate the email icebreakers. Now the point of an email icebreaker is to give a personalization at the beginning of an email. We all receive so many emails from all different types of people, and it's really annoying when you get cold emails from someone that you've never heard of. It's probably an AI system, and it's completely untailored or unpersonalized to you. I mean, if someone's going to do outreach using AI, at least make it personalized. There's really no excuse these days. And the actual open rates and success rates from AI-powered cold email outreach is way higher than not using personalization. So there really is no excuse. So what we're going to do is we're going to connect an Anthropic node. And for some reason it always defaults to this. We're going to connect up the Google Sheets node to that. So it's going to be a basic LLM chain. Now for the prompt, I'm going to put something basic in, essentially. I just want to give it an indication as to what it needs to do, the number of emails it needs to output, the structure of the output that it needs to do, and I need to make sure, I really want to hit home at the fact that it needs to personalize the email to the specific restaurant that I want to target. And on top of that, I'm just going to throw something else in there as well. I'm going to also ask it to be a little bit lighthearted and to put a little bit of a joke in there as well. So by all means, this structure isn't sort of like a best practice structure that I would particularly use. I just want to show you how to actually integrate this with an AI system like we are doing now. But you can definitely watch some of my other videos in terms of building out production-ready LLM prompts for this kind of system. Okay, so very quickly, I've given some context as to who this AI is generating the email for, i.e. for code creations. I've given some context as to what they're generating emails for. So it's for an email sequence that's going to be sent out over the course of several weeks. And I've also told them that they need to personalize the information based on the context that I'm providing to them about the restaurant. I've also given some parameters about the fact that it should provide like a punchy one-line statement, make a light-hearted joke, and keep the icebreaker to below 250 characters. So that's all for now. We can save this. That's not everything though. We want to require that there's a specific output to the JSON that it actually gives us. This one will just make it much easier in terms of actually using the information that the LLM outputs. So what we're going to do for this is we're going to use an output parser, and we're going to use an auto-fixing output parser. And what we're going to do is we're going to choose another model for this. We're going to just choose, I'm using some fairly basic models for this. There's no reason to go anything too crazy. I'm just going to use Haiku. And actually, I'm going to use Haiku for this as well. You can obviously bump this up to a more expensive or a more advanced model, but for this purpose of just this demo, I'm just going to use something quite simple. And the output parser is going to be a structured output parser. Then here, I need to specify what the format of the JSON needs to be. And what this basically like self-healing output parser is going to do is it's going to use this format that I provide, and it's then going to evaluate the output that comes from the LLM against this format. And if it's happy with it, if it matches that format, then it's all good. But if it doesn't, then it's going to iteratively keep trying until it does match this format. So I'm going to save this. That all looks good to me. Let me just move this over because I like to keep things neat and tidy. And let's now run this. Let's give this a test. So this might take a little bit of time to run. So I'm just going to run this and then I'll come back to you when it's done. Okay, it's finally done. That took a little bit of time. You could see that it was being passed between the LLM chain and then the auto-fixing output parser several times. That's probably because the output wasn't in the intended structure, so then it kept iterating until it got it right, and it also iterated over the 5 items as well. So if we have a look at the output, we can see this is exactly what we want. So for 5 different items, we've got email 1, email 2, and email 3. That's perfect. So now the last thing to do is to connect another Google Sheets node, and we're going to update the row. We're going to choose our sheet again, and we're basically just going to insert this data into the final 3 columns of that Google Sheet. So it wants us to give a field to match against so that it knows which row that we want to actually update. So for this, we're going to use the title of the restaurant. We don't need to fill in any of the other columns because we're not actually updating those. We only have 3 that we're updating. Our and we need to select the title, the one that's being used to match. Email 1, email 2, and email 3. So we can just drag these into here. And that will then update those. So now let's test this and let's see this data being updated in our sheet. So this is really quick because it's essentially just updating data in the Google Sheet. You can see that that seemed to work absolutely fine. So now let's come over to the Icebreakers sheet, and the Icebreakers have been inserted in the last 3 columns. So that's exactly what we wanted. So now we've got a lot of really useful personal information